I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
We have such sights to show you.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
I guess I was probably returning videotapes.
I am big. It's the picture that got small.
Who cares?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Take 2 of this recording of the MRT podcast. Since Matt edited my intro.
It had to be done. It was bad.
Shh, this is Rachel.
This is Carl.
This is the editor, Matt.
Ugh. And this week is my pick. I will not be silenced. My pick is just what I said it was going to be last week. We are watching The Fast and the Furious.
Oh, boy.
A 2001 film directed by Rob Cohen, who, I don't know, starring Vin Diesel, the late Paul Walker, he is dead, and Michelle Rodriguez. There are other actors and actresses in this film, but those are the ones I know. I know.
They're just them.
A bunch of other people. Ludacris, to heck with you.
That's right, Ludacris. No,
is he
I
in
don't.
this one?
No, his music is in this one.
Oh, thank God.
He features in the following.
Does that have some weird spelling?
Ludacris?
Yeah. Like, does he have his own weird spelling for his name, or is it like the standard way you spell the word ludicrous?
I think it's the
I
regular
think it's the
way.
same.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just never know.
I don't know. This movie, I've never seen any of the Fast and or Furious franchise.
Me neither.
But this is apparently about a Los Angeles police officer, Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker, who must decide where his loyalty really lies when he becomes enamored with the street racing world he has been sent undercover to destroy. This movie was based on a short story in Vibe magazine called Racer X about illegal street racing in the New York suburbs. But
Wasn't Racer X like a comic book or something else?
Isn't Racer X a character in Speed Racer?
Yeah, well, yeah, all right. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I don't know. The Fast and Furious franchise centers on a series of action films that are largely concerned with street racing, heists, spies, and family.
And a total disregard for basic physics, apparently.
Yeah, cars
Based
drive
on
through buildings, cars get sent into space.
It's like an exploitation film franchise, right?
Carsploitation?
Carsploitation. It is. Autosploitation, which is kind of fun. I guess in this movie, I don't know about future ones, it's heavy on the foreign auto club. Like there's only I think 2 or 3 American-made cars in this film. Everything else is Japanese. So Toyota,
tricked out
Nissan,
Toyotas
yeah.
all that stuff. I see what you're saying.
Even Volkswagen, I think there's a Jetta in there. There's weird little shit cars.
There's a Beetle with rockets on it.
There might be. Who knows? I want to read to you all the titles of the Fast and Furious franchise.
You mean it's not just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and...
No.
First of all, how many are there?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11 of these.
11. 10 main stories and 1 spin-off.
Ah.
And they are as follows in chronological order. Ludicrous. The Fast and the Furious. Then there's Too Fast, Too Furious. And instead of, it's the number 2. I want everyone to visualize that. Then there's The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, where they go to Japan. Then 4th in the franchise is just Fast and Furious.
So get rid of the thes.
Yeah, which is confusing. It confused me when I was trying to look up this movie. Then there's Fast 5. Then there's just, people ran out of clever ideas. Fast and Furious 6. Then we abbreviated it to Furious 7. Just got real lazy.
They went slower.
But then...
Right, they're not fast anymore, they're just really mad.
Furious. Then there's the Fate of the Furious, but it's spelled F8 because it's the 8th film. I like that. They got clever again.
That's like shitty, lazy text messages.
It is, yeah. I would die for you.
Yeah.
Then there's Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw,
That's the
which is
spin-off.
the spin-off,
Yeah.
right? Then there's F9. And then this year is Fast X. And they plan on more.
There's one more coming.
Oh, no. I read there's several more. There's going to be possibly another spin-off, possibly a lady spin-off. I don't know.
Well, I know the Fast X underperformed at the box office, so I think that might alter their plans.
It might. And really, like, how many of these? Like, I get it. Cars are fun. But how many of these can you possibly do?
I mean, Carl, you've seen these. I've never seen any. How has this franchise survived for 10 plus movies?
I mean, to be fair, I've only seen the first two.
Oh.
And Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
From what I've gathered, they just seem like shut your brain off popcorn action movies. I mean, that's what Hobbs and Shaw was. Tokyo Drift, at the time Tokyo Drift came out, it seemed like they were trying to do something different because it wasn't attached, because these movies have kind of a through line story-wise. Like, there's a mythology to it.
Sure. Yeah.
And at the time, Tokyo Drift was separate from the main movie, but then they kind of folded it in to the main storyline, and they started like having characters that were in Tokyo Drift show up in the main movies. But it's like a action soap opera with cars.
That's what I've heard.
Is it heavy on, like, will people who appreciate cars and racing enjoy it, or is that just kind of a framework for the rest of the story?
I have a feeling it's just a framework. Because I from what I've seen, it gets more fantastical as it goes and just less realistic.
Okay. Because I've seen reviews of some of the cars that they've used in, like, the actual cars that they used in the movies, and someone who I watch on YouTube bought one of them, and they're just movie cars. It's like a prop. Yeah. Where, you know, they'll run sorta and they'll drive sorta, but like nothing on them actually
I think this is very much like CG and from what I've read, very much fantastical. It's not like they'll do these drag races and the scenes will last for 2 minutes, and if you really timed it out, it would be over in 10 seconds.
Yeah, right.
So it's not about accuracy or...
If I had to guess, and again, I've only seen the first two in the main series, and Hobbs and Shaw because my wife wanted to see The Rock and Jason Statham. I feel like the earlier movies, it's more realistic cars, it's more like grounded.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just street racing. Whereas it almost reminds me of the Die Hard series, where you watch Die Hard 1 and it's John McClane with picking glass out of his feet, a human being, and by the time you get to Die Hard 5 or whatever, he's riding on the wing of a jet.
Yes.
I think it's kind of that
similar
situation with these.
Because we keep seeing previews or trailers for, I guess, the new one, and they're like, they have these two exotic cars. One looks like a Lamborghini, and there's this giant truck, like giant, and it's driving down the road, and the exotic car is like cut under the two front wheels, and that causes the whole truck to like somersault end over end. It just looks totally...
Where in reality, if that were to happen, the exotic car would be just exploded.
Yeah, flattened.
Crushed.
Exactly. But that's the movies. That's movie magic.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's this flavor of movie magic.
I think the reason they're successful, because it's, like I said, it's a running storyline. It's the same characters throughout.
It's a little soap opera.
So it's a little soap opera-y, where it's like, I want to see what happens to these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I care.
And what's her face is in it? That
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I like her.
She's a good actress. I hate her.
Well, she's a good actress.
And it's not. It's like it's like the kid who played Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
I know. She always plays.
He has to quit acting.
Well,
I know.
but I feel the same way.
He peaked. It
about
was so
her
good.
as I do about him.
Yeah.
Because the characters that she plays are, at least the movies I've seen with her in them. And the show, she was in Lost, and she played kind of a despicable character.
Yeah.
An unlikable.
You liked her in Dungeons and Dragons.
Character. She was good in Dungeons and Dragons. I forgot she was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one. But she is a good actress.
She is. I like her a lot.
I'm anxious to see.
She looks like she could kick your ass too.
What sort of role she's going to play in this?
So just so you know, the Fast and the Furious franchise also includes not only those movies, but short films, a television series, which I don't know about, and I didn't bother to look up, toys, video games. Anybody play?
I don't know. No.
Live shows and theme park attractions. I think there was, when we went to Universal Studios, there was a Fast and Furious ride, if I remember correctly.
It is Universal, so.
Yeah. Fun facts. Do you want a fun fact about this movie? I have several. The first one is this was named after a 1954 film, The Fast and the Furious. Not the same storyline.
So Vin Diesel wasn't in that one?
No, but if you want to know, in the 1954 film, The Fast and the Furious, that was about this. A trucker, framed for murder, breaks out of jail, takes a young woman hostage, and hijacks her Jaguar sports car in a cross-border road race, hoping to get to Mexico before the police catch him.
Why didn't you pick that one?
That sounds fun. I might pick it in the future. What the heck?
But it has no ties to.
No, they just like the
this.
name, so they took it. They just liked it.
All right.
Wasn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a long time. I mean, first of all, it's been a long time since I've seen this movie.
How long has it been? Well, this came out in what, 2001?
I saw it around when it came out.
So it's been like
It's been a while.
23 years since you've seen it.
But listening to the plot, wasn't that kind of the plot of Point Break?
I never saw Point Break.
You never saw Point Break?
Remember
No,
if
Keanu
I've
Reeves
seen...
and
Where Keanu Reeves,
like
I think he had to go undercover.
We saw that.
No, I never saw it.
He had to go undercover to like infiltrate Patrick Swayze's
Yeah.
like band, like bank robbers.
Seen that. We've seen that.
We haven't.
Yes.
I never have.
But he becomes part of it.
But he like
We totally
kind of like gets to like Patrick
Yeah.
Swayze's character. He's conflicted.
Yeah, I remember
maybe
that.
we
We
did.
totally did.
It doesn't matter.
It's the same.
It sounds like it's the
common
same
trope.
thing except
Yeah.
with cars.
Sure.
Instead
Cars
of like
and cops.
skydiving
Yeah.
All right.
and surfing.
Another fun fact, they wanted Timothy Oliphant for the lead that Vin Diesel ended up taking, but he had just starred in Gone in 60 Seconds, which was the movie I was trying to think of last week, the other racing movie.
You
Gone
said
in-
franchise.
Yeah, you did
Did
say
I?
franchise.
Well, I lied.
Because
I
I
just
thought we
was
did say
thinking
Gone
of-
in 60 Seconds.
No, I don't remember.
An Italian Job and a whole host of
I don't
other
remember
ones.
that, but that's what I was thinking of. I'm like, that's the movie.
That was
But
a
it wasn't a
stupid movie.
franchise. Did we see that movie?
Yeah, Gone in 60 Seconds.
I don't remember it. One more fun fact. Neither Michelle Rodriguez or another actress in this movie, Jordana Brewster, had a driver's license or even a learner's permit before production of this film. They had to take driving lessons during production.
Wow.
So, and that segues nicely into our daughter just got her permit, so she is also learning how to drive.
There will be nothing fast or furious.
Nothing
about
fast,
that.
nothing furious.
Slow
No,
and
steady.
conscientious.
That's pretty much all I've been saying to her in the car. I'm like, slow and steady.
Although
She'll just be sick of it.
I do feel like, so I work from home. I do get out of the house, but I don't drive as much as I used to. So every time I do,
Oh my God.
I feel like things have changed quite a bit
Yeah, I agree.
on the highways. Now, it's unquestionable that it's an unquestionable fact that people's attitudes have changed. No one cares about anything
Nope.
anymore on the road.
No.
There's not even a hint of courtesy or conscientiousness or nothing.
It's like Thunderdome out there.
It is.
It is like Thunderdome. And every time I go out, it like blows my mind. I get road rage. I do.
Oh, it's so bad.
But I'm not gonna like pull someone over and shoot them with a crossbow.
Not with your family in the car, you're not.
No, that's crossbows in the other car.
Yeah.
But like, you want to, and I don't even ride my motorcycle anymore on the roads because
No.
I don't want to get killed going somewhere because some idiot has to get there 10 seconds faster than I'm going. I feel like everything on the roads now is fast and furious.
Too fast, too furious.
I've seen and I used to see this before, but more often now I'll see people like in the high speed lane, and then they cut entirely across the highway to exit.
4 lanes of traffic.
And it's like, you didn't think to get over before now?
Listen,
It's
you're
not that
lucky if
they
they
didn't
use
think-
their blinker.
They're the ones riding your ass in the high speed lane.
Yeah.
You're doing 80. They want to do 100. to go another 200 yards
Right.
so that they can whip across 4 lanes of traffic and get off an exit.
Well, their journey is far more important than anyone else's. Don't you know that? That's like we're driving this weekend, and Matt's driving the car. And I swear to God, every time we get in the car now, he says this thing where he goes, I feel like there's more people on the road than ever before. And I disagree. I don't think there's more people on the road. I just think they're poor drivers, so you notice them.
Yeah.
So
like,
no, it's both, because you don't see it the way I do because you're on the road way more often than I am. It's like when you don't see someone for a while, it's much more obvious the changes that they've gone
Pronounced,
through.
yeah.
But when you're exposed to it incrementally, it's not as big of a shock. There are more people. There are more people here. There are more people on the roads. There's so many more people driving through we live in Rhode Island, and there's...
everyone knows
I know,
that.
but I'm just saying.
Wow, you just outed us.
And...
Stalkers don't even think
Shit.
about it.
It's an island. Don't worry, you
so
can't get to
many
us.
people driving up through the state now to God knows where. That
Yeah.
You just see it way more. So there's people just driving through the state. There's more people living here. There's more people on the roads, and all of them are terrible drivers.
They just don't care.
And I swear to God, seeing a Massachusetts plate on a car is like a guarantee that they're going to be riding your ass or someone
Carl,
else.
Hey, I have a Massachusetts license
I
plate.
am prejudiced.
I am not a masshole, thank you very much.
Asshole.
But that's a thing. Like, there are masks.
Oh, it is 100% a
There are a
thing.
lot of them.
To be fair, I've lived more of my life in Rhode Island than I have in Massachusetts.
Yeah, you're one of us.
so
It's
I'm-
okay. It's okay. But you have to drive defensively.
We were driving to IKEA
Yeah.
last weekend. And I'm doing 80. I'm not in the high speed. I'm in the middle lane, the travel lane, doing 80. And there are people in both lanes blowing past. They're doing 100 plus. It's like, where are you going? You're gonna die. If any,
know.
God forbid, no one seems to think that if anything happened, if you have a shitty tire and it blows, you're dead. Probably.
I don't know. Jeez.
You know, what's his name in this movie? Paul Walker?
Paul Walker. He was racing. Isn't that
found
how
out.
he died?
Yes.
Yeah, he burnt to death in his
Oh,
Porsche.
oh, God.
I think it was
That's
a Porsche.
terrible.
It was.
I want to talk about good things about cars, and I want to give a shout out to a YouTuber. I don't do a lot of YouTube. Everyone else seems to watch a ton of YouTube, but I don't. So when I do venture into YouTube, I'm very selective. It's only a few things, but one thing I really enjoy on YouTube is a car reviewer called Doug DeMuro.
Everyone knows who Doug DeMuro is.
Well,
I don't know who Doug DeMuro is.
Carl
You
doesn't.
really don't? You've
No.
never heard of Doug
See,
DeMuro?
don't be a snob.
I'm not a car dude. Can my car get me to work? That's all I
I
care
know,
about.
that's all you care about. But see, I like cars. I'm not a car aficionado. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know a lot of that. But I enjoy cars.
I'm going to keep my Corolla until
I know,
it
that's
falls apart.
super boring. But that's okay, Carl. You do you. It's fine. Like, I want a Porsche. I want a nice car. But Doug does these great reviews. He's kind of dorky. He's just a down-to-earth guy. He's not like flashy or a douchebag or anything. And he'll take a car every couple of days and review it. He'll go like head to toe in the exterior and then look at the interior, and then he'll drive it around. He'll tell you what's under the hood, and it's very relaxing, and I enjoy it.
And he's good. I mean, his channel's changed a little bit recently, and I don't love the new format, but he is a
Yeah.
good reviewer.
But his old videos are
His
good,
earlier
yeah.
stuff is
It's
good.
very
And
soothing.
I love cars. I really do. Like, if I won the lottery, one of the things I would indulge in are cars. Like,
Yeah.
You'd have a garage with multiple cars.
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
I would support that.
For sure. You know, and maybe they'd rotate in and out. I don't think.
Seasonal
Could you have like
vehicles.
So, like,
or
tons
like
of
a
them.
car elevator, like a car Ferris wheel that comes up out of the ground?
A car vending machine.
Yes. Choose one.
No, but there are some cars, and some of them I would just love to be able to drive, and you know, you need to know the right people or be in the right circles to be able to do that sort of thing. But I think having, you know, buy-in on some of these cars would allow that to happen. But yeah, I love them. I mean, we own 4 more cars than we need right now.
We also have people driving.
Yeah.
In our family, we have.
But I've also been. I never thought I'd be into electric vehicles. I was very much against them at first, and I would never like if you're going to own one vehicle and you don't live in a city. An EV doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense for anybody, in my opinion. But if you're going to have two cars, and you're going to have one that's an electric, like battery powered electric, and one that's a combustion engine, I think that's a great mix.
EVs our EV is so fast
to have.
Yes. I can race like anybody on the road, hands down,
furious?
And win. Sometimes I do get furious, but mostly it's just fast. I tend to keep my cool more than some other people in this family.
You've never really opened it up on the highway that'll have you.
No.
That car goes fast.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I mean, I like to drive. I also like to live. So there are only so many risks that I.
Driving in a straight line fast is not a risk.
Irrelevant.
At night with no one else on the road.
Have you guys ever gotten pulled over for speeding?
Yes.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes.
Not a while.
I got pulled over in New Hampshire, and it was like a $400 ticket. It was.
After we laughed at the speed measured by aircraft sign.
Yeah, we're like, ha, that's stupid. What aircraft? Yeah. Oh, and he's like, pull over. $400.
Drones are aircraft, by the way, and they do measure your speed by drone.
They do, and they
have a catch car down a ways, and they'll pull you over.
They'll pull you
were doing like 90.
Yeah.
We were coming home from Vermont.
Yeah, on 95. Whoops. Yeah. Have you gotten a speeding ticket, Carl?
I've gotten pulled over once and definitely avoided getting pulled over.
Did you cry?
So the time I got pulled over, I had just moved back from Georgia. I lived in Georgia for 2 years.
Yeah.
And myself and my wife at the time were going to Jamestown. And for anybody that's local, you'll know when you're on the highway going to Jamestown, there's a point where the speed limit goes from like 65 to like 45.
Yes, it sucks.
So I was going 70 in the 65, wasn't really paying attention, and I got pulled over going 70 in a 45. Ugh. Now, I still had my Georgia plates, and I still had my Georgia driver's license. So the cop pulls me over. He's like, license and registration. So I give him my license. He goes over, he comes back, and he's like, I'm going to cut you a break because I see you're from out of town.
Wow.
And so I was like, oh, thanks, officer. I reckon I won't make that mistake again.
Y'all have a nice day.
And your state's beautiful. And I took my license. The second time I almost got pulled over, and I kind of felt bad at the time, but now I think it was pretty cool. I was driving through downtown Providence on 95.
Yeah.
And I was going fast. It was one of those situations where I saw the speed trap at the point I was at it.
Oh. Yeah.
And so I pass him, and I'm in my rearview mirror. Please don't pull out. Please don't pull out. Please don't pull out. And I see the lights, and I'm like, crap, because I was in the high speed lane. So ahead of me, in the second to leftmost lane, I see my car. Ooh. So it's somebody. I had a red Toyota Corolla at the time, and I see my exact car in the lane next to the high speed lane. So I get in front of him. And I slow down obnoxiously. Yeah. He gets mad. He gets in the high-speed lane to pass me, and the cop goes right past me after him.
No way.
And I was just like, sorry, buddy. Survival of the fittest. I had to do what I had to do.
Do you think there's been karmic retribution since then?
Maybe.
Do you think that
the
universe bestowed some punishment on you?
Probably.
Because that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I mean, other than that, I got a parking ticket once in Newport, because everybody gets parking tickets in Newport because there's no place to park in Newport if you're not a resident. But those are my speeding experiences.
I have two dumb, quick speeding stories. So I've been pulled over more than 2 times for speeding. But one of them was we were living in Rhode Island, but somewhere else. And I was going to work in the morning. I was late, and I had a big like Dodge Ram pickup truck at the time, and I jump in my truck. I'm like, shit, I have to get to work. I jump in the truck, and I'm going down the road, and the road that I was going down has a high school on one side, and the police station is literally across the street. Yeah, and it's a school zone because there's a school there. But I wasn't paying attention at all. I'm like, oh man, I gotta get to work. So I'm blowing through. and I think the speed limit there was 25, and I had to be going at least 50. And the cop pulls right out of the police station and pulls me over, and I'm like, oh crap, what do I do? So I get on my paperwork, and he walks over, and he just looks at me, he goes, what are you doing? Where are you going?
Really, dude?
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I'm sorry, I'm trying to go to work, I wasn't paying attention, I know I was speeding.
You're never supposed to say that.
No, yeah, but he got me dead to rights. There was no question I was speeding.
Yeah.
So he goes and does this thing, and he comes back, he's like, look, I'm going to write down and circle your actual speed at the top, but I'm going to write you down for like 10 over. You can go to court, you have a good driving record, you can contest it. But he's like, pay attention, slow down. I felt like a fool. And I did go to court to get it off my record, and the judge was like, I shouldn't even let you go off of this because my actual speed was on there. But he said that doesn't count, so blah blah blah. So anyway, I got off, and that was lucky because that would have been an expensive ticket.
Yeah.
The other time that I'll talk about quick was I wasn't the one driving. I was in a car. I was either like a senior in high school or right after that. Someone I knew had like a late 1970s Dodge Charger, and that car was like a train. You know, it could get up going fast, but it took a while to slow down and stop. So, and the person who owned it would drive very fast. So we were on the highway, and he was blowing the doors off the thing, and all of a sudden the lights and sirens come on, and we see him, and he's not pulling over. And he's like, there's a park and ride right there. I was like, yeah, so? He's like, let's go. So he goes flying off the exit. We pull into a park and ride. He finds a spot that's kind of obscured. We get out of the car and we just booked it into like the dunes, sand dunes that were out beyond that. And we got a vantage point where we could see, and we saw the cop come flying into the parking lot.
Wow.
He found the car, and there was nobody in it. He was looking around, and then eventually he just left.
You're awful lucky.
Yeah.
He didn't that didn't fall back because obviously they could track by the license plate who owns the car.
It did. He never got a ticket. I don't know what happened.
Wow.
I mean, he wasn't like right behind us and we just escaped. It was like we saw him pull out and we knew it was us that he was after. So he pretended that he didn't see him, took the exit ramp, and we got out and ran.
Wow.
That was when you're young and stupid and.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that could have been really, really bad.
Yep.
Oh my god. I think I've gotten 3 speeding tickets, and I've gotten out of 3 speeding tickets.
You pour on the waterworks.
You got
I don't cry.
out of 3 tickets, but I mean, like that one coming back from Vermont, that was definitely a ticket that we paid.
I did not get out of that one, but I've gotten out of 3 using either just being a female or maybe my nursing badge.
Yeah.
I may have done that 1 or 2 times. Not saying it's right.
Where are we watching this, Rachel?
This is on Netflix.
Yep.
Okay. So I think it's also, you could rent it on Amazon Prime, but it's free if you have Netflix.
It's been out for 22 years. You can find it.
You'll find it somewhere. It's fine.
Dinner, let me tell you.
Oh, Carl,
my
talk
God.
about dinner.
We had crinkle fries that you wouldn't believe.
I think you could believe them. I think they're believable.
I'm exaggerating on the fries. The fries were good, but the real star of the show.
Oh, yes.
Rachel made this chicken sausage that was like manna from heaven.
Carl took a bite and went, whoa.
I was speechless. I was looking at it like, what is this joy in my mouth right now? And what I discovered was this magic. It's like changing water to wine. It was... You cook, so let me see if I get this right.
If you know it.
You cook the chicken sausage.
Yep.
And then the key is you deglaze the pan with the sausage, the cooked sausage in there.
Yep.
With, was it balsamic?
Yep.
Worcestershire.
You got it.
I can never pronounce that.
Worcestershire
sauce. And was it soy sauce?
Yeah, a little bit of soy. Equal parts. Not a lot.
And it was like this sweet and savory, it was amazing. It was like caramelized on the outside of it.
That's exactly what it does.
It was amazing.
I'm so glad you liked it. We had sausage and pepper sandwiches with that.
But the sausage was the star of the show.
You loved that. You really liked it. I'm so happy.
It was
I'll make
amazing.
it again.
Please.
Because chicken sausage is boring.
That's an all-timer for me.
I love it. Wow. Oh my God. All right. I'll make it again. Not a problem. I do steak sandwiches with that little glaze too. It's really good. But I'm so happy you loved it.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
I loved it too.
Did you love it too?
But like, see, I'm spoiled
Yeah, I know.
You have this in house.
every day.
This is like I should do a Yelp review when I come here. Tag this as a business, and I'll give you a Yelp review.
Food was amazing.
Then
Help
say
was okay.
permanently closed.
Yeah,
Here.
you can't come here. Sorry. And we're gonna just see what we have for dessert. We just have odds and ends.
Yes, I'll have a handful of peanuts and
It's fine.
and
Some
maybe
Doritos or something.
an asparagus leaf. I don't know.
Some crackling oat bran.
Yeah.
Ooh. So, are we ready to join the Fast and the Furious?
Better to watch it anyway.
Well,
I gotta watch it first, then I'll sign up after.
okay, great. Let's do it. And we're back after our viewing of The Fast and the Furious.
I'm so furious.
Don't be furious.
Okay.
Just be mildly irritated.
All right.
Be fast about it.
Yes.
Do it quickly. Before I launch into a synopsis, what did we think of this movie?
It was very early 2000s.
Oh my God.
Kind of dumb.
It's so, just from the computer graphic font in the titles, sequence, you're
I
like,
thought it was an
oh my
asylum
God.
movie.
No.
I did. It,
Come
it-
on.
that opening scene looked like it.
A little bit. Carl?
It's fine.
It is.
We've watched
this
worse
movie
things.
is fine. So,
But it's not about if we've seen worse.
No.
It's just...
it's fine. I don't think
This
it was
is the birth of a franchise, right?
I
There's
can
11
see
of these
that,
now.
though. I can see how that's true.
All right.
So, help me with the story. But basically, the story is about Paul Walker is Brian O'Connor, undercover LAPD.
Also on the SWAT team, also working with the FBI.
He
Also,
just does it
just
all.
cop
He's like a jack of all
extraordinaire.
trades. He's amazing. But he's doing this undercover work where there's been this string of truck robberies that these blacked out Honda Civics have been doing. It's a trio of Honda Civics. And they rob these trucks for items like electronics.
I wonder what Honda thought of that.
Honda thought it was great.
Probably
'Cause it probably
gave
sold
them
a
the
ton of
cars,
Civics.
promoted them.
Yeah. So, and that's what this task force that Paul Walker, Brian O'Connor is on to try to catch the culprit. In the meantime, Brian is trying to get himself involved in the illegal street racing world of LA to see who's behind this. And he has been going to this shop run by Dominic, who's played by Vin Diesel, because he likes Dominic's sister, Mia. So he goes, you can tell that he already likes her, but he's also trying to do his job and kind of get in with this underworld of racing.
And he has a job at like a high-end auto parts store because that's where all of these street racers are getting their equipment.
Yep, so he's trying to like get some street cred. And he through a series of events gets involved with Dominic and his gang.
Well, he saves him.
Yeah,
He goes-
he does. Well, yeah, yes.
He goes to a street race that Dominic is participating in. Dominic wins, but then the cops come, and so everybody scatters. The cops end up, like, Dom stashes his car, and he's trying to walk away from the scene. A cop sees him, and Brian pulls up in his car.
And he's like, get in.
And saves him, and from getting arrested, and Dom's, all of the people in Dom's group, nobody stopped and helped him.
Yeah, they all ran away.
But Brian did.
So now he has his in.
He's right.
Right, he's got his cred, and like there's other things going on in this underground illegal street racing world. Like there's these Asians, and they keep showing up, and they're like constantly fighting with Dominic and his gang, and they have automatic weapons and motorcycles and
Just like different factions.
right. They're like a rival gang.
There's a Spanish faction.
Yeah, there's the
Like
Hispanics. And, but basically this goes on, and Brian, the cop, has to keep reporting to this task force with this FBI guy who's like a hard ass, and the guy who plays Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs is like the buddy cop, the friendly cop who's trying to give him good advice. And they can tell that he's like falling for this girl,
Going
Mia.
native.
Right. And he's like, where do your loyalties lie? And that's basically the whole plot, is this kid is trying to figure out, am I a cop, or am I part of this family / underground world?
Well, because he starts getting attached. You know, there's a younger kid that's in the gang, and he talks to him about like, why aren't you at MIT? Like you could have really made something of yourself. So it's like they're humanizing the group, and at first he doesn't believe that it's possible. It's like, no, this isn't who you're looking for. But as they rule out the other groups,
he realizes
it's like process of elimination. It's got to be this group.
Yeah, it's Dom's crowd that's doing these heists, and so he realizes it. But he also realizes that these truckers have pretty much had enough of this shit, and they're gonna start fighting back. They're done being passive about it, and so he feels like, he's worried for Dom and his gang, and he's like, they shouldn't do this anymore. And they go to this big race in the desert called Race Wars, where everybody drag races. And Dom leaves, and Brian, the cop, is saying to the sister, where's he going? Where's he going? He knows he's going to do this heist. Do crimes. And he just comes out to this girl, Mia, the sister. He's like, I'm a cop. It's like, whoa, okay. After she like slept with him and just into him. But basically he uses his cop skills to locate where Vin Diesel is.
Well, at one point they kind of suspected he was a cop because they caught him nosing around in one of the rival garages, but he came up with the story that, no, I was scoping them out because I don't want to lose to them and I wanted to see what their equipment was.
Right.
But
so he kind of lied, and, Dom's learning to trust him, but he doesn't quite trust him yet. He doesn't tell him about the heist at all.
No.
But he figures it out. And the heist goes wrong. The trucker has a shotgun. Things are turning bad. He's shooting at everybody. And one of the members of the gang, who Brian doesn't get along with, what was his name?
Vinny.
Yeah.
Vinny gets trapped on the truck and gets shot. And the trucker has disabled Vin Diesel's car, and another guy gets run off the road. So basically, here comes Paul Walker, Brian. He zooms in with his car with Vin Diesel's sister, saves Vinny.
And Vinny's hated him this whole movie because he thinks he's an outsider. He's the one that
He
was
knows
like,
he's been right
he's a
the
cop.
entire time.
Yes, Vinny has been right the entire time. But Brian the cop saves Vinny, and then reveals basically to Dom, by calling in for a helicopter medevac, he says, this is Officer Brian O'Connor.
Which he totally didn't have to do.
He really didn't, but he did it. Yeah. And so then the end of the movie, I can't even basically, they get into this street race.
No, because what ended up happening...
I don't want to go into all this.
No, I mean, they end up... The Asian faction there ends up killing one of the members of the group because he cheated him out of a car that he
won in a race. Yeah.
And so Vin Diesel goes after them for revenge, and then
so does
Paul Walker because he just witnessed a shooting.
Yep.
And they end up catching up with the perpetrators.
Yep.
They dispatch them.
Yep. Paul Walker does. He has one final race with Vin Diesel for some reason. Because.
And then Vin Diesel ends up getting into a crash.
Yeah.
And Paul Walker's character, Brian, gives him the keys to his car and is like, get out of here.
And that's how the movie ends.
Yep.
So he makes his choice. Brian, the cop, makes his choice that his loyalty lies with underground street racing.
I was thinking, if your name is Vin Diesel, you're almost obligated to make a movie like this.
I think so.
His real name is Mark Sinclair.
Oh, that's so much nicer. So much more pleasant and gentle.
Where did Vin Diesel come from?
I don't know.
That's some agent was like, you need to be Vin Diesel. Mark Sinclair.
Mark Sinclair.
That's nice. So do you think people who know him call him Mark or Vin? How well you know him?
Depends on when you
Okay, all right.
ended up knowing him.
But this movie's it is very soap opera-y.
It's soap opera-y, but the character, like, everything's razor thin. Like, there's
Of
only
course. Yeah,
it's a veneer
Yeah, there's no in-depth character.
And not that I
analysis.
expected that.
No.
But man, it's just
Paper thin.
paper thin. It's a popcorn summer, early 2000s.
Yeah. Car thing.
And I guess, but if you really like cars, don't watch it for that reason, because
Matt is always good at being sort of
Oh
our...
my God, Debbie Downer.
No, but our reality check.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work like that, or that's not how NOS
Actually,
would work.
I am
or-
one of those people. I try to be quiet about it.
Actually, the car wouldn't
But
work
with cars,
if you did it
computers,
like that.
guns,
I know.
other shit that I know about.
I know.
And I understand there's that willing suspension of disbelief when you
For the
turn
movie
on.
to happen.
For the movie to
Yes,
happen, it has
yes.
to happen, but it's just silly in this movie.
It is a little silly at one point when they're drag racing. Paul Walker pops up this like laptop computer and it has like graphics on it, and I'm like, "What's that?" Matt goes, "It's bullshit." I don't know.
Well, then in the same race, he completely blows out his engine and then has no problems driving away
It's
at the end
fine,
when the
that's
cops
right. Don't worry about it. He's
Manifold failure. It's like, no, shut up.
okay to rescue Vin Diesel, though. It's fine. So the movie can happen.
Just so, in case you're curious, Sinclair began going by his stage name Vin Diesel
Thank God.
while working as a bouncer at
Yeah,
the New
okay.
York nightclub Tunnel, wanting that place has everything. Anyway, wanting a tougher sounding name for his occupation.
Yeah.
Vin comes from his mother's married last name Vincent, while the surname Diesel came from his friends due to his tendency to be energetic.
Wow. Okay.
Thank God.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
So
God
he
we know
came
that.
up with that name. It wasn't
Yes.
some like Hollywood algorithm.
No.
It makes me feel a little better. But
There were no diesel cars in this movie, though.
no, you don't really race with
The trucks were
those.
diesel.
They
Probably,
were.
yeah.
They were.
No, they weren't. Like,
Peterbilt trucks.
Yes.
They were. Yeah. So it was fine. I can see how people could get hooked into the storyline.
It ends in a cliffhanger, so I
Yeah,
could see why somebody
it
would
does.
come back for at least the second one.
does it? Is that a cliffhanger?
Well,
it is
yeah,
to me.
'cause
Why?
Brian let the perpetrator
Go.
go.
But what happens
Yeah.
to
How is he
Brian?
going to explain this? What's
Right.
going to happen with Mia? Is he going to like?
Right.
I guess. Is it a cliffhanger or is it just an incomplete story where they're like, we'll do more?
It could be viewed as
like
either.
a cliffhanger. That doesn't come across as a cliffhanger to me. Not at
I
all.
feel like it left me.
It left me asking questions, but
Well,
not
you
like, oh
wanna
my God, what
know.
happens
It's like,
next?
what did Brian do?
What about
happened?
Vinny?
Vinny,
Vinny
he's
went to the
okay.
hospital, but he's probably
Right.
going to go to jail
Is
because
he
they're
going
going
to
to
go
know
to
he's the one
jail?
that
Are
got
they going to
shot.
rat him out? Are they going to
I
link
forgot all
him to the
about Vin.
car?
Like, who cares? I don't know.
Wow. You don't care.
No,
That's
but
fine.
it didn't make me care.
Listen,
about-
I can see how in the 2001, this movie was probably cool.
There
and
wasn't a lot
interesting.
going on at that point.
Right.
When did The Matrix come out?
Late
a
90s,
little earlier
right?
than that.
Like 99?
Yeah. So it's that same
So
kind of
quality
vibe.
films were coming out.
Yeah, but this, I could see how people would like this.
I can't. I don't know what drew people in.
It's like a weird subculture that they want to know more about and get involved in. And,
All right.
and
Yeah, okay.
Emulate.
That I
and,
can
you
see.
know.
And it's terrible.
Well, you don't like
Illegal
it.
street. I don't think it's a good thing to emulate. These people are criminals. They're robbing.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Trucks. They're hurting people. They're wrecking cars to make them
Yes.
look cool and think that they are going faster.
It's badass.
It's not.
Well, to people it is. To some people it is.
It's what inspires people to drive like assholes on the highway.
I'm gonna be Fast and
with
Furious.
stupid ground effects lighting under the car.
And their car like dropped.
And
I mean,
like
you watch plenty of
giant
movies with criminal activity.
fart can
Yeah.
mufflers, but it doesn't glorify. I mean, this is literally glorifying that type of behavior. People wanted to emulate the people in this movie and trick out their cars and be badasses and punks and I don't
sound
know.
old.
I am old, and you know what? I felt I thought I said the same thing to myself watching this. At some point, I'm like, they're not even wearing seatbelts. I'm like,
You did say that.
Nobody's wearing any
Seat
seatbelts.
belts.
All of these people need to
What?
get off my lawn
Yes.
immediately.
one kid was wearing a racing harness.
He was. He died.
But he died.
got shot.
He got shot.
That's what he gets for wearing
That's
a
right.
seatbelt.
That's what you get. That's what the movie says.
I don't know. Maybe if I had seen this around the time that it came out,
You wouldn't have
I would
liked it
feel-
then
I
either.
would feel
This is not
differently.
your kind
it's
of
not,
movie.
You're right. It's not. I
This
like
isn't
action
your
movies,
scene.
but this isn't. This is like it's like Action Dallas. It's like action
It
soap
is.
opera.
Yeah,
right.
I think a lot of people like that.
Yeah, apparently. I mean,
There's like 11 of them, so
they've made more and more.
But
And
it was-
I do. If you look at where this series is now,
yeah,
comparing it to this,
yeah.
this is definitely more. It's smaller. It's
So what is it like now?
They get ridiculous. I mean,
Just completely.
the cars are indestructible now. I mean, there's one point in one of the later movies where the car drives straight through a building,
Wow.
comes out the other side,
Totally
and it's
fine.
perfectly fine.
Unscathed.
And it's just, they're like driving on ice, and there's a submarine shooting torpedoes at them.
Wow.
Like,
Give me a break. Come on, really?
I swear to God.
That's wild. Okay.
Yeah. So it definitely jumps the shark, but I think people enjoy that it jumps the shark because
Just how crazy are we gonna get? right?
that's the thing. It's like they get bigger. Like they seem to have to what are they gonna do in this one?
Right.
It's kind of like Mission Impossible, where the first Mission
Yeah.
Impossible is smaller, but now it's
I
Tom
never-
Cruise hanging off the side of a
That's
plane.
the only one I've ever seen. Is the first one.
I don't even think I've seen that one.
And it was,
I don't think
it
I've
was a long
seen
time
any
ago.
of them.
But yeah, if you
Another
compare this
franchise.
one to where they end up,
It's just
it's
apples and
it's
oranges.
bananas.
It gets wild.
It gets. I mean, they go to space in one of them.
What? They do?
Yeah,
In a car?
I'm not sure. I didn't see
Go to
it,
space.
but I know space is involved in one. Oh, I mean,
Okay.
every series eventually goes to space. Hellraiser went to space.
They did.
Friday the 13th
Yeah,
went to space.
that's true.
Leprechaun went to space.
Did they?
Those are
Wow.
all horror movies.
Well, that's my wheelhouse.
That's my wheelhouse.
No, but I don't know why cars in space. Like wait,
No.
What did they do in space?
My Big Fat Greek Wedding went to space.
They did not.
No, they didn't.
Maybe they just.
Cars wouldn't work in space.
I don't think they drove a car.
Isn't there a
into
Tesla in space right now?
There is.
It's an electric car, and it.
Oh.
I mean, it's not being a car; it's being an object in space.
Floating. I'm not sure what the logistics and the reasons.
Don't
why
worry about
they were
it.
in
We can
space,
watch
but-
it. We can find out which one it is.
I
and
would
put it
rather-
on.
I would rather not.
It looks like Netflix has all of the Fast and Furious
Oh,
movies.
God.
So, if anyone's interested, they're all there. No, I don't need to see another one.
You don't want to know what happened to Vinny?
I can just look it up.
Okay.
I don't know that I needed to see this one.
I needed to see it.
Want to see what the fuss is about?
Yeah, I did. I did, and it was fine.
Was it worth it, Rachel?
I don't know. I feel pretty neutral about it. Like, I didn't hate it. There were parts I enjoyed. I liked the cars and the racing. You know, it was fine. You want to throw something on? You could throw it on. I don't think it's, like, offensively bad.
All right.
What would you rate it?
I'm gonna give it right in the middle. 2.5 out of 5 nitrous oxides. That's it. Gotta boost it.
Yeah, I was right there with you. 2.5 streets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you feel neutral about it, or do you actively dislike it?
I don't know. It's not for me.
It's not your cup of tea.
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
I didn't hate it.
No.
Was it better than White Noise?
I can definitively say yes.
Oh, come on.
Well, define. Wait, I mean, so
Did you want to
did
turn
I
it off
enjoy
halfway
the
through?
2 hours more than the 2 hours of White Noise? Yes.
There you go. I mean, I would
Was
say
it a better movie? No.
Yes.
it was you mean from a craft standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, please give me that shit.
It was more enjoyable to watch is what
Yeah.
I meant. Was it more enjoyable to watch
Did
than
you
White
want to
Noise?
turn it off halfway through? No. Then it's better.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I did want to turn White Noise off.
Yeah.
That was a first. We
And we all felt that way.
We've never, and we've watched some bad movies.
We really have.
We have never been at the point where we're like, do we need to keep watching this?
Yeah.
That says something.
Yeah, it
But
does.
that's a rule. We can't
We
turn
can't.
it off.
No.
We have integrity as
Yeah.
reviewers. We
We need to see it through.
And that's the spirit of Movie Roulette Tuesday is we watch what the pick is.
That's right.
No matter how much we either want to or not want to.
We can't turn a blind eye. We can't turn away.
No, it's our calling. It's our creed.
Yeah, that.
I don't think I've ever turned a movie off.
Oh.
Like, forget doing this. Like, just in general.
We've turned movies off.
I
I know we have.
You've fallen asleep.
That's my own version.
Turned yourself off.
That's right. That's my own version of turning it off.
When
I'm
you
like,
fall
know
asleep,
what?
I'm still there. And
I'm still there.
And he's watching that movie, damn it.
I'm sorry for you. I feel bad for you.
I'm the same way with books. Like,
I've stopped
in my
books
entire
mid-book.
life.
What?
I don't think I've stopped.
So you just hate read at that point?
I do, and I have, and then I'll complain about it.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
damn it, I started this book.
I'll try to give books a chance. I really will. But if it's really bad, I'll stop. Like, if I do not care, I'll stop. It's like, it's not worth my time.
I'm like that with video games. Like,
Yeah.
I used to finish them, like, out of obligation. But at this point, it's like, if I'm getting angry, like,
Yeah.
if I'm just getting annoyed, there's other games I could play. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this to
I don't
myself?
need this.
Yeah.
I don't need this shit.
Like, there's not enough time. Like there's, I've got a limited amount of time
Yep.
Yeah.
in my life. Like, why am I wasting it on
That's how I
this?
feel about books I don't like. And that's how I feel about movies. I'll just go to sleep.
And
Sorry.
let Matt suffer through it
He
alone.
doesn't have to. He can turn it off.
And then she asked me the next day, what happened?
I do.
It's like, you should have stayed awake and watched the movie.
And I used to recap stuff. I won't do that anymore.
You're such a liar. You still recap.
I do not.
You're a good recap.
We've been watching X-Files.
Oh,
like,
well.
start to finish.
Listen,
X-Files.
Can't recap the X-Files.
I
episode.
was for a while.
Yeah, well,
and
that was
now
when the story was good. Now we're in season 9.
Oh,
we are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we are.
Oh, you're in the Doggett seasons.
Well, we're well into
John
them,
Doggett.
And the super soldiers where it just got stupid.
Yep, and nothing makes sense.
Nope.
Nothing.
As soon as Duchovny went part-time,
Yep.
it just... And even at that, it's like Scully and like her magic baby.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
It's really good, but we can't stop watching it.
Season 6, I feel like that. Like after season 6, I think
I agree with that.
it started getting dumb.
Yeah, it just went weird.
Yep.
But we're still watching it.
Well, but because after this season, this is the last season until there's like a 13-year break or something like that, and then
There's a movie too.
I don't care about that. And
I wanna
then
see
the show comes back. I want to know what that looks like.
Oh,
and it's two seasons, like 10 and 11, and there's only like 6 episodes in each or something like that.
special
I think they're
edition.
abbreviated seasons.
There's also the Lone Gunman spin-off show.
No.
Who's that? The Lone
The
Gunman.
Lone Gunmen were like those conspiracy theorists, that conspiracy theorist group that showed up in like earlier seasons.
Yeah, the 3 guys.
The guy with the long hair and the glasses.
Yeah.
You know exactly who they are.
Yeah, I know
They
who
have their
they
own
are.
show. They had a
I don't-
one-season show.
I don't know.
I'm reluctant to do spin-offs. That reeks of like, Marvel, Disney bullshit. Oh, you gotta see this show before you see this movie, and look at this, and we're gonna take this minor character and make this whole story. And I don't.
Sometimes
that's
it
not
works,
for me.
but-
I actively dislike that.
What about Better Call Saul?
Didn't like it. Didn't watch it.
We watched some of it.
Yeah.
And then we stopped.
And then we didn't.
Yeah, it just was okay.
Breaking Bad was fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's enough for me.
All right. So we have a special announcement. Special announcement.
I'm pregnant, everybody.
Oh, that's not possible.
No.
We have a special guest.
Yes, we've one of our loyal listeners and friends of the show, Brian.
Brian.
He's in town next week.
And we'll be here.
And he wanted to experience Movie Roulette Tuesday, so
we're going to throw it at him.
we've invited him into MRT Studios.
Yes, into the circle of trust.
It's my pick next week.
Yeah. Dude.
And he's not getting a pick because he's not part of the core crew. So Brian, if you're listening to this, actually he would have already been here.
He's already
So
gonna...
that's not how time works.
It's okay, just pretend.
But he's not going to get a pick.
No.
So it's still my pick next week, and he's going to watch what I want to watch.
Which is...
I'm just going to... I don't want to...
TBD.
I don't want to spoil it,
Why?
but there might be
Give us a hint, Carl.
drugs and animals.
Drugs, is that like colored weather?
Yes.
Drugs and
Drugs and
animals.
animals.
Okay. So like heroin cat?
No.
Oh.
Ibuprofen raccoon.
Methamphetamine mouse.
Seneslot.
Dimetapp badger. He's just really sleepy.
He is.
He's just laying in the lawn. Like, I don't know what happened, guys. I drank this grape stuff.
Oh, man.
LSD lemmings.
Stop it. You can make so many of these.
Yeah.
They're all stupid.
So, you probably know we're going to watch, but
Maybe.
Brian's watching it too, whether he wants to or not. Because that's what you get when you visit MRT Studios.
That's right.
Crack cat.
I already said heroin cat.
No, crack cat.
No.
The alliteration's better.
It does have satisfying alliteration.
Whatever, guys.
So that's what we're watching next week.
Crack cat.
Crack cat.
Crack cat. Coming to you.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you again for listening, and we will talk at you next time.
Crystal Cougar.
Stop.
That's another one.